Hello, it's Gammy, almost 90 years old, Gammy. I was thinking about smells that trigger a memory. Are there any certain smells that trigger your memory? You smell it and you're there. You're right there. Some of mine go back over 70 years. I'm almost 90 in a few months, and some of these go back to in my 20s or earlier. And one of them that triggers a memory immediately is peonies. Do you say peony or peony? I've never learned how to say it in 90 years. But that flower, I love it. It's one of my favorites. But just the beautiful aroma will bring me back to my grandmother's kitchen on the farm. And she always had, in May or June, a large bouquet of peonies on her dining room table. And when I smell that flower today, I'm back there. I'm leaning over the table and I'm sniffing those flowers as much as I can. Beautiful, beautiful. Another one is cigarettes. When I was growing up, everybody smoked. I mean, if you were over 15, you smoked. All my relatives, my parents, grandmother, aunts, uncles, cousins, everybody smoked. Kids at school. And so I very seldom can smell the aroma of a cigarette today, because in my circle, I don't know anybody that smokes, and I don't go to the places where people smoke. But I'm sure there are still some people that enjoy that habit. When I was in high school, most of the kids in high school did smoke. And a cigar will do the same thing to me, but it's a more recent memory. The man next door smokes a cigar most of the day, and he's out in the yard or he's walking up and down on the sidewalk, and the aroma of that cigar just filters the air, and whenever I smell it, I associate it with that particular neighbor. Another thing that triggers memories for me is whiskey. Again, I don't know anybody that drinks whiskey, but if I do smell it or see it on a shelf somewhere, it reminds me of, that was another thing. Everybody drank whiskey. My dad drank, well, my dad was an alcoholic, so he drank a lot of it. But the cheapest, I think, was Old Crow at the time, but I'm not sure. It didn't matter if it was homebrewed or they made White Lightning a lot during the war. And my grandmother made it out of dandelions because there was no sugar and grains available to make it. But she managed, and seemed like she could swap it or sell it easily. But my dad drank whiskey a lot. It was always his fifth that was hidden in the house, in the closet or somewhere. And when any of the babies were teething, they always rubbed some whiskey on their gums. Okay, if that was to numb the gums, it wasn't to get the baby drunk, it was to numb the gums. What was a whole pint of that doing inside his belly? Oh, I don't know. Another aroma that strikes a different kind of a memory for me is Old Spice aftershave. I don't know anybody today that even uses aftershave, but it used to be a very popular product when I was growing up, and well, really for the first 40 or 50 years of my life. And if I smell anything today that sniffs and smells like Old Spice, I remember how all the men, that was what they used after they shaved. Shaving, my dad used, he always shaved every day, never grew a beard. And he used a little cup, coffee cup, with some kind of soap in it or gel that my mother made out of leftover soap bars. And he had a brush with a wooden handle and long, soft bristles. And that was what he put on his face and shaved it with a straight edge, I think it was a straight edge razor, or some kind of razor with a handle. Another one is vinegar. I use vinegar today for various things. And it's good as an ingredient, as a fermenter, as an antiseptic, as a cleanser. It's got a lot of uses. And when I smell it, I think quite often of the jars of pickles that my mother used to make and can. Yeah, I remember that. Pretty green jars on the shelf. Another one that I smell very often is coffee. If coffee is brewing, or if I just opened a new bag of beans, if I'm grinding it, oh, seventh heaven. And when my sister was here a few years ago, we had the habit every day after our 2 cups in the morning for breakfast, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we would have afternoon coffee and, of course, homemade cookies, but it was the coffee. And it was at 3 o'clock. Well, she went back home, and I still drink it every day at 3 o'clock, kind of in commemoration of my sister's visit. And I think of her when I drink it, but now it's just a habit. I have to have it and enjoy it. Yeah, coffee is great. There could be worse habits that I could have, you know. I just wanted to share my memories with you of aromas, smells. You think about what's particular smell or aroma triggers a memory for you. It's fun to think about it.